One, two, three, four. Four are on. Yeah. There's YouTube. Okay. All right, man. So we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And
Okay.
just another fresh morning on the front line of the apocalypse. I got my beautiful, beloved brother, LaVell Zimmerman's in the house. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a special occasion. But right now we're going to play a little tune from Universal Brothers and Sisters Circle. This is LaVell's work and his crew. And it's about 3 minutes long. We're going to run that and let people come in, and I'll do a little engineering. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Awesome. That's our music, so if you like it, it's holler. It's nothing. Peace.
Work is gone. Work is gone already. We love the children.
Yeah. I don't know why you thought I was asleep. Yeah. Go ahead, Kami. Check 'em. Yeah. Let's do it. 144,000 on the ground. Want to look the fleet. About to blast off, homie. Hey. Let's go. Dipping through the astro belt like sauce. On another level, Ella like a rebel renegade. Down my flavor, you can flip it so amazing, man. Yeah. It don't been the pill to make them different than vanilla. Have moved in millennia familiar. The flipping in the mother loving building. We building full of tripping, son. Look, I got greens, beans, chicken, turkeys, old rats with so much magic. Harry Potter, call me daddy. Yeah. God off the grade, all in your face, all on the base, all in the place. Holla, man, this command fleet like. Yeah. Yo. Close the glass doors, you about to blast off, man. Close the glass doors, you about to blast off, man. Blast off, but blast off, man. About to blast off. Go to blast off, but come on. Yo, many millennia I've been in my tune, keeping cool on my mom raw. Summer solstice, rise, fly plus thunder. Rain while the sun's out, rain while the sun's out. Yeah. They dance with a honk in a gold blue hairdress, rose petal juice, and my challenge me the lamp is. Take me a sip for I really get the ramping, yo. Come on, baby. Really get it pop up for the free peep. How we get busy in the deep, so deep that the underwear can really still worry about what it's gonna be. Yeah. The whole thing on quarantine. Going harder than the mother lover, no salute the colors when we come through. Too cool, doing what we do, bro. Yeah, them speakers on the roof. Butter on them bubbles, yo. That's a better crack up Figaro. They call me Diamond Sport Angelo. Light work animal. Shine so bright, the dark know not to run up on me, yo.
The blast off video. Yeah, like every show I've been on, they play the blast off video.
Look, about to blast off on
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, bro.
Hey,
let's get some more content, cuz.
Here we go, man. You good?
Yep.
Yeah, we're up. We're good.
Hold on.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna call you back, son. I'm live. Peace.
Right on, man.
All right, sorry, T.
That's okay, man. Don't worry about it. I'm good. That's one of the things I was wondering too. I was wondering, like, how are we even going to schedule anything? Like, this energy is like, we were talking about before the show, we're all moving towards telepathy. You got to be direct.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice. It's the energy, though, the atmosphere. Like Morgan had it a couple days ago. This other friend of ours hit us up yesterday. She had a dream. She was holding a clock. It fell down. She heard time is no longer there. Morgan had the same thing. She was muscle testing. What's going on? No time. And so, like, how are we going to even schedule like shows and stuff? How do you do that? You know what I mean? How does that happen? But I'm serious. It's not a factor. It's fading away, and it's all changing so quick.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, we've kind of used the conscious timeline as benchmarks in order to develop our ability to communicate. So now, us working together in more of a fluid energy is necessary. It builds character. Ability to harmoniously coexist and co-create now, like that transparency and authenticity, and working with our schedules and being like compassionate with ourselves and all that good stuff. So
yeah. Morgan was talking to me last night. She's like, you know, it's about being organized, and like she's very organized, and I'm I'm the other way, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're leaving on Wednesday. She'll be packed tomorrow. Everything will be done. The sheets will be clean. She's already, and me, I'll load my stuff up at the last second, you know.
Yeah,
just chunking in there.
Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
That's right, man. Yeah. And so she's like, well, you know what though, Todd, you taught me over the years, you taught me the power of being spontaneous. And I'm like, you know I was chasing it. I don't think I've mastered it, but I can definitely see the power of it now more than ever. So, and that's how this show came up. And last Sunday had a show with Lori Ladd, same way. We're producing this show for Sandra Mathis. You've been on it a couple times, co-hosting with her. And and so, you know, I heard this, so this would have been during the week. And I heard y'all talking about these hot topics, right?
Yeah.
So COVID, you know, Trump and Q, I mean, quarantines, mask, you know. I went into a store 10 days ago, and I walked in, and somebody didn't have a mask. You know, one of the people working there didn't have a mask on. This other lady was checking out, didn't have a mask on. It was a Walgreens, you know, chemist. And so I just left mine around my neck. And then this guy came up to me, and he's like, "Get the F away from me, man." I'm like, "Dude, what did you say?" And he's like, "Get the F away from me." So this is all happening, right? This is all going on. But anyway, I heard you talking about it on that show, and I haven't heard a lot of people talking from what I consider, and I'm not Moses and I'm not Jesus, but I haven't heard people talking about this stuff from a balanced state. What I have seen is some really strange, to me anyway, polarizing stances, comments in the Lightworker community, to include I'm downloading such and such essence, and they're telling me that Trump's a good guy and all these other people are bad people, or Trump's a bad person. I mean, they're actually putting into, and I'm not throwing rocks at anybody, because I am doing the same thing everybody else is doing. You know, I'm cutting a rug and stumbling, rolling and tumbling, right? And but it's just interesting to me that all this is happening. I know it's a good sign, because anytime, you know, you start getting all that flip-flopping and, you know, chaotic vibrations, you know, you're going to hit the central point, and you're going to hit that 0 point. But I don't hear people talking about it in a balanced way. So I was like, oh, well, we haven't hooked up in a while anyway. And for those of you who don't know, LaVell has been a big inspiration to Soulogy and to me. I came off the streets in 2013. He's one of the first people I saw. I started following him. His information has always been very consistent. He just gets it done. And then I found out he was a hell of a musician and lyricist, so that, you know, made him more dear to my heart. But anyway, we started back in the day, and this would have been back like in 2016. I started this show. This particular show is 2,100 episodes, 2,200 episodes now. And so LaVell was one of the better known people. He'd come on quite a bit. And we'd have some good conversations, and everybody's growing a little bit. Everybody's eating some humble pie.
We are.
Right. So, and LaVell's in Germany, by the way. And there's just so many things we could talk about with him. You know, but he puts it out there. And if you want to get a little taste of him, all you got to do is just put him on, you know, follow him, and he'll pop up every day. He's always showing you what he's cooking. It always looks good. Yeah. He's always got some nice girls around, good music. And he's got a hell of a crew over there too. So, yeah, man. So like, I don't know where, you know, I just read this morning, in a major, I checked 3 different mainstream media sites every day, not CNN, but I checked these 3 just to see what they're disclosing and what they're not showing you, you know. But there was one that was out there today that it was from 2004, and it was a leaked. It was a leaked video of a UFO, a tic tac looking UFO in California with four accounts from four different pilots. So you've got that stuff that seems to be coming out slowly, soft disclosure, people call it. You've got the stuff going on with the Q movement. You got the Trump thing. You got the election. You got, Black Lives Matters. You've got riots. You've got agent provocateurs probably creating all this BS in these riots. You got peaceful people. I mean, it's just all this convoluted stuff going on. And then we've got this COVID thing. Mm-hmm. And last week when you were on the show, you just started rolling with it. So maybe we could pick up there.
Yeah, let's pick up there.
You're in a different country. I mean, is there a lot of, I don't know. What's your take on what is COVID? Is it a consciousness? Is it a disease? Is it real? Is it, how is it affecting us? Are you seeing that stuff out there where people are getting polarized by it? I mean, what's your take on that?
Oh man. So yeah, let's just take a deep breath, everybody. This is so intense already. No. Once again, a catalyst to say the least. A conduit of extreme polarization that's necessary at this point in our trajectory, in our evolution. Like it's almost like this dividing line, or one of the dividing lines, as we merge into different lanes as far as the Earth is concerned. There's been a lot of talk about what's happening on the planet and with the species and the direction. And this is but one of those catalysts that we all have to work with. It's a universal one. The world shut down for a little bit based on this idea of disease or our susceptibility to harm. And of course, the choice has always been love or fear. Come on, this is the theme of 3D. The theme of 3D, the choice. The choice being love or fear, separation or unity. Now we have the opportunity to practice that trust and confidence within ourselves in a real way, being that the catalyst itself is based on physicality. It's based on our physiology, how it affects us as people. Here in this country, Germans are, from my observation, they're known for being very conservative, conventionalists. Come on, these are like, it's a couple crude judgment calls that have circulated that I kind of resonate with in my observation. But once again, these are the engineers, the scientists, conventionalists, extremely logical. They're almost like the Vulcans of the human species.
That's very true, man. The Germans are very intelligent people. They've been leading us through history for a long time.
Definitely. Well, once again, this energy is opening everybody up to another source, or at least the other source, the foundational source of intelligence, the intuition. So some of the more sensitive folks here are leaning in another direction. Now, there is a divide. Same here, going to the store, there's some extremely polarized people in this direction that'll, yell at you, hey, kind of, because sometimes when I wear the mask, right, because I understand it. No big deal. One thing I do not do, and I kind of refuse to do, is to put it over my nose, because I'm breathing out of my nose. I'm not going to breathe in my own carbon dioxide. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. So I'll put it over my mouth. Sometimes I'll go in a particular situation and the person's there and they're extremely particular about the rules and they're extremely scared of catching the disease, or whatever the case may be. They're like, oh, masculine dinosaur. And they want me to put it over my nose too. I'm like, all right, no biggie. I got it. I understand where you are. And the sympathy is there. No big deal. I allow it. It's just that all of those things are there. These are all factors, and the devil is in the details. So once again, these are catalysts for me to practice, for us to practice more empathy and compassion. Yeah. more empathy and compassion. Everybody is on their level of being. We have our ability to choose how we wish to handle it. But once again, if a person is extremely polarized, I'm not going to make a scene. I'm not standing in line or making a big deal in the store because of me wanting to make a point. And yeah, look, no problem. I'll put it on my nose for a little bit, get what I need to get what I need to get, and get out of there. Keep it moving. We good.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and and sometimes we walk in one time recently, and the guy said mask, and we just said okay. We just walked out.
Yeah.
We didn't feel like going into that store, but I carry it with me, and I've only had that one situation pop up. I haven't really seen. It's just weird, man, because you're driving down the street. I mean, I saw a dude on this biker dude with the big muscles and the leather vest, the tank top and the tats and everything, riding his motorcycle, riding his Harley with a matching leather. And I'm thinking, how the hell can you breathe? Because when I put mine on, I take mine down simply because I can't breathe, man. I feel like somebody's that's trying
crazy.
to tap me out, But it's weird because you see that. I don't know. I look at everything as energy, and I see it. I try to just stay in my own lane. I mean, I really do. But it's just I don't know. It's on one hand, it looks like this big bad wolf, but on the other hand, I see the absolute perfection of it because it's driving everybody to a higher trajectory, into a higher trajectory.
Being forced to make a choice now.
Yeah.
All being forced to polarize in all of these very brilliant ways that are subtle. And it kind of reveals the internal makeup of the individual. And then, same thing as you. No matter the shape, size, big, small, some people that you may have seen as mature and otherwise, all these judgment calls based on the physiology. It's just that when it comes to the mask, no mask thing, this is a clear indicator. It's not necessarily a place for judgment, but once again, a clear indicator of a person's level of confidence in what's taking place, trust in themselves.
Yeah. True that. Yeah, and so I mean, you've been lit for quite a while. I know it goes back probably like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus, you're in Europe. You've got a military background. You've got some, some experience there. I think I don't know if I picked that up or just saw it in the ethers, but you've had a pretty good bird's eye view of a lot of things. Plus what you're mainstreaming too. But I mean, mainlining. So there was a lot of talk about disclosure, for a long time, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and it looks like it is happening a little bit at a time. But I don't know. Do you think that there's going to be more of that? Do you think it's just propaganda? Do you think that we're actually going to see tribunals and and hearings and narratives?
Yeah. That is the human timeline.
Yeah,
that's part of the human timeline. Now, there are, as you know, there are infinite timelines. However, we're experiencing a distinct split having to do with the choices that we're taking or it's the stances we're taking based on polarity. The stance of human liberation, the experience that we've intended and planned to see for those that are choosing to trust the nature of the divine. Oh, come on, this is happening.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, we did not spend $26,000
right.
with all of this, and that's not to experience any of that. I mean, real talk. This stuff is written on the walls older than any living person.
Yeah.
and I mean, for generations, it's been expressed that these are the things that are taking place. And for those that are intuitively aware, the dream state, the scholars, and those with bird's eye view. I mean, even with myself, having the top secret clearance that I did while I was working for the federal government and several different agencies on the inside, I used to read contracts, so I saw evidence that pointed to some of the independent research that I did, solidifying the things that I knew was taking place. So in 2011, 2012 timeframe, I recognized I had the vantage point because once again, I was pretty good at what I did. So I kind of moved up the echelon pretty fast and had access to a lot. So based on my logical sense and then my intuitive awareness and my own independent research, I recognized that this ship is going down. So I resign. It's time for me to do some work.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And once again, I bet my livelihood on it.
Oh, I agree with you. I don't see how it could be stopped. And so Lori Ladd's been putting some good stuff out lately, and she was talking about it a couple of days ago, and she was saying everything, which we've heard. Everything has to come up to be revealed. Mm-hmm. It has to be revealed because everybody has to have it in front of them. They have to see it. They have to accept it, and that basically we're continuing. You always say it. The energy from the sun just keeps getting bigger, and more enhanced and more absorbed into us, into the earth, and it's not stopping. That's what you said last week. You're like, no matter what, this has gone on. It hasn't stopped. And so, having said that, I mean, I guess in essence, the disclosure, the soft disclosure, the rate of disclosure is predicated by the universe, not by the government. Because I mean, I guess our bodies are raising in frequency in order to sustain a higher Earth frequency. I guess would be one way to put it, right?
That is more of an acclimation. We're becoming acclimated, visually, energetically, emotionally, like all these different levels of being that we're becoming sensitive, or more sensitive, and the rate of frequency that our body is being adjusted to or acclimated into. It's extremely complex, and there's many levels or stair steps when it comes to this. I mean, you ask any physician, they will tell you the physical expression of the body is mind-boggling. When you add the emotional body and the etheric, and all of the different aspects of the physical presence or the spiritual presence, wow, it is amazing. I mean, this is the temple of the living God. Yeah. Totally. And being that we have harnessed this energy and moved to this point, the complexity of all that's taking place, it has its processes. It's just that it's delicate, it's subtle, it's truly brilliant. And being so brilliant and so subtle, it seems as if we're in the same place that we were last year, when in actuality, we're not even in the same place we were 10 years ago. No. And because we're here and we're experiencing things and it's constant stimulation, it's hard for us consciously to decipher. It's just that we're in the story. And unless we're in a deep meditative state, we're not able to see from this vantage point what's actually taking place. Yeah. It's the subtle art, just like meditation is the subtle art. And it's more of a matter of trust. And continuous planning of the intents and continuing to elevate our sense of presence so we become more sensitive and we notice the subtleties a lot more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, I know you get download. Everybody gets different types of downloads and different clairs. You have I think, a mainline galactic federation. And, I've seen a few people write credibly about it. You're one of them, definitely. And over the years, have you seen, has there been like, okay, so here's the forecast, this is what's coming, and then it changes, and then it changes. Have you seen that? I mean, I'm not saying it's happened or it hasn't happened, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, all bets are all bets off. There is no date of the event. I mean, and I say this because I'm kind of feeling that we're doing such a great job that every time there's a finish line put before us, or a due date, it gets obliterated because we're making quantum leaps. I mean, I don't know. Has your intel, not only say altered, but like changed due to bettering circumstances or better performance by humanity?
Humanity's doing an amazing job. Amazing, stellar. The one of the here's one of the pros about going so deep into the darkness. When it's time to come out, all of the energy, all of the momentum, the suffering and the pain, the experiences, these become springboards of such an amazing leap and rapid trajectory. Like, we're truly, like, we're really busting through walls here because it's heavy. Understand that all that's taking place externally is happening inside.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff is extremely intense. And that is based on the fact that we are doing this work and we're ready to get it done.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and do all you need to do to get this done.
Yeah.
It's intense. And the thing is once again, this is based on the individual's focus, daily focus on healing and moving beyond this reality. Now, one thing I will mention is that it's always been the methodology of the heavens, especially when it comes to masters. When I first kind of moved into the sphere of sharing information, I recognized a lot of projections, dates, benchmarks, timelines, but I've always expressed that, hey, look, beyond 2012, we're in no man's land. This is no time. This is like, there is no time. There's only now, and our intent and progress trajectory to heal the individual's. It's always been that. So anytime there's a person or a source that indicates, hey, it's this date, this date, this date, you're being set up for failure because there's only now. There's only now. Even the timelines will always jump because it's based on our individual intent and the decisions we make in the moment to heal more and more and more. Yes, the timelines are there. It's just that these timelines take place based on our intention, the seeds that we plant, and the work that we're doing within ourselves, and it's reflected externally. So the timeline is always been fluid. Yeah. Now, it's just like tarot cards, right? With tarot cards, when you do a reading, the reading is based on the energy of the recipient of the reading at that time, and only that time. It's a projection. It's a reading based on the person's or the individual's present energy, their trajectory, where they're headed. It's just that it's not a prediction of the future of what's going to happen, because once again, that future projection is not solid. It's liquid. It's always going to change because the individual has the ability to choose each and every moment the energy that they continue to entertain, where, of course, they have the ability to influence and manipulate the rate in which things take place. And once again, it's and I keep going back to this, it's the individual. It's the individual's intent and focus and level of healing that they continue to do based on their ability to accept what's taking place and receive and execute the work that's being presented to them in the moment and being present. Just like you were talking about before we started, being able to be cool and allow and accept, continuing to be presented with these choices to continue to gauge and monitor and allow for you to continue to elevate in your sense of balance, your sense of presence, even the experience of going outside at 3 o'clock in the morning to go and sit with the energies, just to be there and listen to music and absorb and be present and allow you're being groomed to accept and be in the moment, where of course this presence is what is allowing your frequency to expand, and which is allowing for these otherworldly energies to enter our reality, our sphere, and our energy field, because we're becoming more and more present. As we become more and more present, our energy continues to increase, and we're allowing for more intensity to be presented as catalyst of more balance, more stability, more stability as we stay here and exist here and truly be within our presence and allow what's going on. We're allowing this otherworldly energy, these intense experiences to be presented, because we continue to be able to handle it. You want to get big, you got to do. You got to lift weights to get big. That's how it goes. If you want to get big, you got to lift weights to continue to be presented. And as you present it with the weights, you continue to get stronger energetically. It's a metaphor. But as you get stronger, you're going to be presented with more opportunities to elevate.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. Yeah, you got to grow up. We all got to grow up. Yeah. It's weird too, because like you can see almost if not an immediate reciprocation by the universe when you're staying in your lane, when you're lifting the weights and aligning and being present. Everything that jives in harmony with universal will, it's like right there with you. Absolutely. And then the other side of it is if you're like avoiding something or ignoring something or denying something. And I'm watching it, man, and it's like whoa, like I feel like I'm moving along pretty well. I mean, I've had my moments, but it's been pretty. But I'm sitting there watching everything, and it's keeping me very humble when I see things out there, or my friends or family, and they're going through stuff. It's just it's like the whole. Way the whole lifestyle's changed, because it used to be somebody's puts their hand up, you're over there to help them, they're over there to pull this one up, kind of wounded healer kind of thing, at the detriment of letting yourself go or depleting your own energy. Absolutely. And now it's like it's getting easier for me to say, like I had one of my kids, they raised their hand 2-3 days ago, I knew what was happening, I'm like, I can't help you. And sure enough, it worked itself out. But so there's something about we're obviously no longer playing in a codependent frequency. We can't enable each other. Everybody's got to grow up, which is really fascinating as we're watching everything on the global stage fall apart. Yep. And I'm like wondering, what's going to replace that? What's that going to look like? And that's just curiosity, because I realize my focus needs to be on me. Who do I want to be with? What do I want to do? Where's my bliss? How's my level of communication going? But one of the things I do wonder about is the conversion to the light body. Like if all bets are off as far as D-Day, then I'd have to say all bets are off as far as how quick we can do anything, including a physical transformation.
Absolutely. That's a gradual experience. They say your light body is being it's woven together constantly. I received the shell of the light body personally back in actually the 25th 25th. I did a very significant meditation, of course, on December 21st of 2012, right? The morning of the 25th, I used to, so it's a funny story. I used to be scared of meditation.
Used to be what? Scared?
Scared of meditating.
Really?
All of the experiences, right? Because the invisible energies, right? My angels, the guardians, this is extremely new for me. Like, once again, I'm straight up street kid. I wasn't even in that lane, and I kind of was tossed in. And back to the story. On the 25th, I was in a meditation in the morning, and I was sitting there, and one of my fears was seeing stuff when my eyes was closed. I didn't want to see nothing, and nobody come and grab me or be in another. I was like, okay, let me just ease into this thing. And that body, like the figure, it was like a humanoid figure, light. It kind of just came and it entered my body. I immediately attempted to get up and get out. I was like, oh, what is this? I could not move. I was frozen in my seat for about 15 minutes. And when I was able to get out of there, I was drenched in my own sweat. And I got up and I told my wife at the time, "Hey, baby, I don't know what happened. So, point is, later I was informed that was the energetic ascension of the self, and through the experiences thereafter, the light body construct would be woven together through the experiences as I made the choices necessary to align more and more and more with the authentic self. As I received more downloads, information, studies, some of my own talents and gifts continued to come in after that. It's just that they expressed that, hey, all of the choices that you're making, this polarized sense of being that you're now collecting your own energy. Yeah. And as you collect this energy, the light body is being sewn together while you're here. It's emerging. Now, there is a portion of it later on in our timeline where we all have specific chambers, light body chambers that are specific and tailored to us as individuals, which will repair our DNA, our RNA DNA. So the light body and all of its regalia is revealed and active. It's just that while we're here, the choices that we make is allowing for the body to merge with our physical body all at the same time. So once again, this is extremely subtle process, and it's all based on the choices that we continue to make, the healing that we continue to do, because as we heal, we can receive and embody more light as we heal. So once again, we're embodying light, which is allowing for our light bodies to actually, be put together. It's like Voltron. Yeah. We're allowing the energy to take place, just choices. We have to make those choices to allow for more light to come in, to allow for the body to fully develop.
So that would mean that, and that's what I was going to ask you. Mm-hmm. People talk about they're not awake, and this and that, and that always makes me cringe, because I'm like, how do we even know? This could all be upside down. But in regard to the light body, because I believe what you're saying is true. Like there's a certain level of collective ascension energy. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that, and then there's an individual level where you can accelerate, your growth and your expansion. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that there's although everyone's and the whole earth is being affected by the energy from the sun, mm-hmm. At the same time, there's varying levels of the transformation, be it the light body or otherwise, based on really, I guess for the most part, would be based on the conscious effort of the individual. Although I'm sure there might be some people out there that just have the vibe, Mm-hmm. You meet some people that are just like, they're just like balanced. I mean, every now and then you meet someone like that, but so I wonder, have you seen anything out there where there's any hard evidence of the crystallization and the light body transformation? Is it starting to come out?
It is. One of the okay, so here's how it works, because once again we go back to the individual. The whole is an aspect, right? Because this is a collective conscious experience. We're all feeding the collective consciousness of the human species as we're here. It's just that the foundation, the source of the experience remains within the individual. It remains like this is the micro energy field, the source of the macro, the bigger experience or collective experience, if you will. On that level, the indication of the individual is in the density of the molecular structure within the individual's experience. And I'll say that in layman's terms, it's the individual's experience with manifestation and signs and intent. Like the more the seeds that we plant, the intentions we put out there, the words that we speak, the things that we intend to see, the outer reality is it's constant validation and confirmation that our frequency is elevating and our light body is becoming whole again. And that's because the molecular structure is spread. Our reality is much more liquid. We could say things and then things start to manifest before us based on what we're saying. Like the karma effect is happening because we're dealing with a lighter reality. Our experience is lighter. It's lighter and it's more fluid, which allows us to make projections and plant intentions. And those intentions are starting to manifest themselves almost immediately, instantaneously. Mm-hmm. It just shows the level of density we're experiencing. And once again, external or internal, external.
Yeah.
Internal, external.
Are you noticing a lot of people, you made reference to the crew earlier, but I mean, just in general, are people going inside now? I mean, is it happening more? I mean, I don't get out that much, but I can't imagine that even like extended family, right? Like people that I'm estranged from. There's signs and signals that they're opening the door to consciousness, or they're walking away from distorted patterns in their lives. They're going, that hasn't worked for 50 years. I'm going to try something else. They're coming clean. They're you know what I mean? I mean, it's yeah. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed more people?
Amazing. That's such a great segue coming. So, wow. This is a byproduct of the elevation and frequency within the individual as the heart space, the source of our energy. It's the source of the energy that goes to our solar plexus, responsible for the emotional body. Understand that this is increasing in frequency and intensity, right? People are becoming less able to compromise and manipulate the emotional body.
Yeah.
Which means it is extremely harder each and every day for the individual to be fake.
Yes.
That's exactly what that means. It's becoming harder and harder for us to suppress how we truly feel.
Oh my God, this is music to my ears. we've been talking about, we eat, drink, and sleep this, Morgan and I, but we've been talking about this. Actually been talking about it slowly, deliberately. It's been coming in, and then in the last week to 2 weeks, it's like front and center, man. And like we get I don't want to say test, but we get a situation after situation put before us to make a new choice, I guess.
Absolutely. And once again, and Nicole said it's harder to lie. It's harder to be fake. And those that are choosing to continue to attempt to hold on to the facade of the self,
Yeah.
it's poisoning the physiology in
Yeah.
so many levels, because the blockages, it's almost like forcing down, attempting to hold down this
Yeah.
this pipe,
Yeah.
and insides are becoming so distorted, and the individual's presence is becoming so frustrated because of not allowing these outlets, this energy to flow. And that was another reason I expressed earlier that authenticity is a top priority right now, because as you're authentic and you allow for the energies to express themselves, you continue to allow the circulation of the toroidal field to take place, which is allowing you to absorb and receive more energy, receive more light as you make those decisions. You're actually weaving together your light body,
Yeah.
and you're allowing the energy field to stay clear of any blockages, any suppressions, and you're making decisions that are aligned with who you are in truth
Yeah.
and where you're comfortable, even if that means, because this goes the same for souls that are choosing service to self.
Yeah.
This goes for them as well. If they're choosing service to self, or they want to lie and cheat and be deceptive, or whatever, they're going all out. Like, you know what? I'm not sharing. Fuck them people over there. What? That's they. They have to accept it. It's happening.
Yeah. So
I
it's
mean,
like, yeah. So and that's pretty cool because, everybody, not everybody. So like people say, well, you got to do this and you got to do that and you have to do this and this is the way to do it, which we all know there's many roads up the mountain. But like in layman's terms, with what you're saying, which I absolutely agree with, the expansion, the conversion of the into the light body, making more space for light to enter your body, it can all kind of be nailed down to, stay in your lane, get your stuff together. Like it's like that's the prescription, and anybody can understand that. I mean, that's an easy thing to follow, but we've been so, as a whole, we've been so, put into these patterns and behavioral, patterns that we didn't even think about it. What about the, another thing that's kind of, and I'm glad you said that. It's like you read my mind about this whole being direct and you can't be fake. I have a really hard time having a conversation if I can't be myself. If there's something on the table that hasn't been talked about, was swept under the rug, and it can be the littlest thing,
smallest thing.
Yeah, but that's I forgot what I was going to say, but I can't remember. But it had to do with just the human behavior. I know what I was going to say. So another thing I've noticed that's really interesting is as this atmosphere has started to take hold of, I guess, obvious universal support when you stay in your authentic, raw, real self. Obvious, consequences if you, don't, follow the credo to thine own self be true, or you want to be manipulative or cheat, lie, steal, whatever. Karma's coming quicker. But one thing I've noticed too, and again, it helps me to keep me on my toes, is people's blind spots. Like I can see in what's happening that they're unconscious of what's going on or what they're doing, like the projection that they're doing or whatever it may be. And I'm not like, in judgment. I'm like going, where am I missing my blind spot? You know what I mean? So this goes back to a couple of things. One, we can't be fake. We're realizing that telepathy is coming, so we can kind of help that along by being direct, not hiding anything. But when do you say something to your friend, and when do you not? You know what I mean? Like, I love you, man. I would want you to tell me that I'm being, a jerk or whatever the case is. But I'm like going, okay, do I say anything? Because I know, you know what I mean? What do you do?
It's an intuitive dance.
Yeah.
Where you are comfortable. Assertiveness, being open, direct, compassionate, empathetic, and gentle. Gentle with yourself is like, once again, as long as you're speaking from this place of love, from an open heart, and it's not. I mean, a person can
True.
sense you're attempting to be malicious, right? And it's
True.
like, hey, look, bro, I love you. I feel like this, and this is where the divine masculine, right,
Yeah.
is becoming more emotionally mature. These are some of our catalysts to align ourselves and virtually put my hand on your shoulder and say,
Mhm.
hey, brother, look, this is how I feel about this. Look,
Mhm.
let's figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
we have to talk about these things so we could, once again, we love each other. We only want the best. It's just, as you were referring before with the guys here in the crew, and I tell them that all the time, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to inspire each other. We have the opportunity to hold each other accountable because we love each other.
Yeah.
I think one of the most distinct traits of truly loving a person unconditionally or really loving a person is in your honesty. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm showing you all of my cards, and
Yeah.
this is how I'm feeling, dude. Like, I want this to work. We just have to hold each other accountable for what's going on. And it's not necessarily the most comfortable conversation initially, but that's why it's called healing, and that's
Yeah.
why it's called the process, baby steps. And
Yeah.
as we continue to challenge ourselves and allow ourselves to do these things, we're making space for more light to enter our energy field. We're becoming lighter because we don't hold grudges. We don't.
Yeah. True. True.
It doesn't become awkward anymore because we're so thorough with ourselves and with each other. The relationships become healthier.
Yeah.
The greatest thing you can do, and I've expressed this plenty of times, the greatest thing you can do for the world is heal yourself.
True.
The greatest thing you can do for the animals and the plants and all the galaxy, the greatest thing you can do is look in the mirror and take responsibility.
Yeah.
Take accountability on all levels, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and what have you. Be a leader.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for your mess.
There you go, man.
And the more you can do this and let it go, because the forgiveness part is where you allow yourself to practice unconditional love within yourself. You're embodying the Christ through forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Through doing just that. If you avoid that, you're avoiding the opportunity to elevate and don your Christhood.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like all this information that we've received, everybody's got their own thing going. And it's like we can't walk in two worlds anymore.
No.
I was having a conversation with a gentleman, and he was talking about how his father had abused him sexually as a kid, and how he moved away, and then right before his father was going to die, he got a phone call. Mm-hmm. So, long story short, he ends up having two-dimensional experiences with his father, and one of them, the father came and said, he said, this was a pure aspect of my father. And he came to me and he said, can you forgive me? And the son said, yes, I can forgive you. And he said, when you forgive me, you're forgiving yourself. That was the end of the first trip. And then the second one was more, sacred wisdom. And then in the same conversation, because of what we were talking about, I said, so you believe in evil? He said, yes. You know what I mean? So I was like, we can't walk in two worlds, because his father told him that, or reminded him, he said, listen, you asked me to come here. You asked me to come here and play this role so that you could have an opportunity to expand in your capacity in regard to this aspect. Wow. So I guess I'm not picking on my friend. What I'm trying to say is we've got this information now, and it's basically time to walk the talk. And I think it's become very obvious, especially in these circles, that the universe is reciprocating very quickly.
Mhm.
Like magic is popping up all over the place.
Absolutely.
So much, it's popping up so much. I'm wondering how in the hell are they going to keep this out of the mainstream news? How much longer could this not be, recognized? I mean, it's just like it's happening everywhere. There's fairy tales going on all over the world.
Hey, it just looks goofy at this point.
Yeah.
Like it just looks. And once again, there's a process. There are souls that are within our. Let's just understand this for a second. There's souls that are within our timeline that are fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, what have you. Everybody's at their level. It's just that the trajectory that we're on, we are a necessary part of our own, of course, the source of our timeline, but there's souls within our sphere that are necessary parts of our timeline. And what that means is they play an integral role in the catalysts that are forthcoming amongst the changes. They are a part of what's taking place. They are going to be shocked. They are going to need our presence, our assistance during that timeline. They are not vibrating at this level. It's not obvious to them. Again, these are their blind spots. It's just that a catalyst of our further elevation, our further practice of empathy and compassion involves these souls. They have to be there. They have to be ignorant at this point in order for us to do our part at that part of our timeline. So seeing it from the bird's eye view and the bigger picture, there are many that are still being spoon-fed applesauce. We're biting the apple. We're chewing because we're ready and we're on the fast track. We have this. We have a sense of focus that's allowing us the rapid spiritual weight loss that we're specialists at. And being that the case, the compassion and empathy aspect of our spiritual weight loss is there based on these souls being present with us, where patience is practiced. Patience is necessary for us to practice. Observation is necessary for us to practice. And yeah, the news and all the buffoonery taking place and all the lies and this and slow. I mean, we are on a rapid course for ourselves. It's just that we have to recognize that our patience, our acceptance, our empathy for those around us is actually a part of our healing.
Yeah.
It's a part of our work too, to sit here and take it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I already did that and this and this.
Right.
I've been talking about this for 1,000 years already. I'm ready. And it's like, dude, you being cool right now is a part of your healing.
Yeah.
How are you doing with that?
Yeah, true that. Yeah, true that. I mean, and I think that's another example you just gave, or you've given today, a second one, of how simple, the prescription is in layman's terms, which, what are we doing here? This is the end of the cycle. There's going to be some major contrast. We're here to stay calm, basically, right? I mean, we're here to just be the illuminated columns of light that we are, while everything that this world was built on no longer makes sense. It starts crumbling down, or however you want to put it.
Masters. We gotta be it. This is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to be. Yeah, we got personalities and enthusiastic, excited. We got a lot of youthful energy, and we want things to jump off. It's just that we're asked to be the leaders of the new earth, and this requires masters of the self-control, compassion, empathy, the embodiment of unconditional love and spiritual maturity for all life on this planet. Our brothers and sisters, they need time, and we need to know that, understand that, and have the space or hold the space to allow that. Okay, so I guess Todd froze. Yeah, we do need the pause, Allison. All right, so I can keep talking. You guys can still hear me. Aw. Okay, let me reach out to Todd real quick. Hold on. I think he knows what's going on. He'll be back. All right, so yes, it's necessary for us to be at peace. And we are leading the way. I think we all need this pause right now, just to absorb everything that's been expressed already. One of the things that we do have to realize is forgiving the self is so necessary. So necessary. We continue to look for validation and confirmation externally. It's just that any master will always return you to the mirror. They'll return you to the mirror every time. It's your opportunity to be unconditional with the self. Hold on, I just got a message. Let me check them out, see what's going on. Okay. I'm assuming he's giving me permission to stay on. Let me check him out real quick. Hold on. Okay. Well, Todd, if you would like, you can feed me messages through or questions through the messenger if you like. Okay, yeah, try something. I didn't want to get on any of the other topics until we could have that conversation, if you don't mind. But I'll continue to go. So, man overboard. All right. So, once again, the heart space, self-forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, empathy. These are the tools that masters are being given for this experience that we're having. It's true acceptance. Authenticity is so important because it just allows you to keep the heart open, to be present and express yourself, to communicate with vibrancy, with love, with assertiveness, and just to remain in a space of joy and gratitude. You can't complain and be grateful at the same time. I've written this plenty of times, and it's so true. They cannot occupy the same space. You're either complaining or you're grateful for what's taking place. They can't occupy the same space. If you're in gratitude, you're accepting of what's taking place and allowing what is. And you trust yourself. This is your design. You set all of this up. There are absolutely no accidents, no coincidences